Core Module 1, Strategic Management and Global Leadership. Module Overview. Strategic Management and Global Leadership serves as the foundation of the global MBA program. Inspired by the strategic management orientation and the leadership-focused, decision-driven learning model, this module equips participants with the knowledge, analytical frameworks, and leadership competencies required to guide organizations through complexity, uncertainty, disruption, and global competition. The module integrates strategic analysis, competitive positioning, organizational leadership, executive decision-making, corporate governance, ethics, and organizational transformation. Participants learn how organizations create sustainable competitive advantage, formulate long-term strategic plans, align organizational resources with strategic objectives, and lead people through periods of growth and change. Emphasis is placed on practical application through case studies, simulations, strategic assessments, and leadership exercises that reflect real-world executive challenges. Module Objectives. Upon completion of this module, participants will be able to analyze internal and external business environments using strategic frameworks, formulate, evaluate, and implement business and corporate strategies, develop sustainable competitive advantages in dynamic markets, lead organizations across cultures, industries, and geographic regions, understand individual and organizational behavior in business settings, manage organizational transformation and change initiatives effectively, apply structured executive decision-making processes under uncertainty, demonstrate ethical leadership, governance awareness, and corporate responsibility. Course 1, Strategic Management. Course Description. This course introduces the principles and frameworks used by executives to formulate and execute strategy. Students examine how organizations assess industry conditions, identify strategic opportunities, allocate resources, and achieve long-term objectives. Topics: Introduction to Strategic Management, Strategic Planning Process, Vision, Mission, and Strategic Objectives, Environmental Analysis, Industry and Competitive Analysis, Strategic Positioning, Strategy Formulation, Strategy Implementation, Strategic Control and Performance Measurement, Strategic Renewal and Adaptation. Learning Outcomes. Participants will be able to conduct strategic analyses, develop organizational strategies, evaluate strategic alternatives, implement and monitor strategic initiatives. Course 2, Competitive Advantage and Business Models. Course Description. This course explores how organizations create, sustain, and renew competitive advantages through strategic capabilities, innovation, and effective business model design. Topics: Sources of competitive advantage, resource-based view of the firm, core competencies, value chain analysis, business model design, digital business models, platform-based strategies, innovation and disruption, strategic agility, sustainable advantage. Learning Outcomes. Participants will be able to identify competitive strengths, analyze business models, evaluate industry disruption, design value-creating business models. Course 3, Corporate Strategy. Course Description. This course focuses on strategic decisions made at the corporate level, including diversification, vertical integration, mergers and acquisitions, strategic alliances, and international expansion. Topics: Corporate-level strategy, diversification strategies, vertical integration, strategic alliances, mergers and acquisitions, international expansion, portfolio management, resource allocation, corporate restructuring, strategic growth management. Learning Outcomes. Participants will be able to assess corporate growth opportunities, evaluate diversification decisions, analyze mergers and acquisitions, develop international expansion strategies. Course 4, Global Leadership. Course Description. This course develops leadership competencies required to manage organizations in a global business environment characterized by cultural diversity, complexity, and rapid change. Topics: Leadership theories and models, strategic leadership, global leadership competencies, cross-cultural leadership, emotional intelligence leadership, communication, leading virtual teams, inclusive leadership, executive presence, leadership development. Learning Outcomes. Participants will be able to lead multicultural teams, adapt leadership styles to diverse situations, improve executive communication, foster organizational engagement. Course 5, Organizational behavior. Course description. This course examines how individuals, groups, and organizations behave and interact in workplace settings. Topics: Foundations of Organizational Behavior, Personality and Individual Differences, Motivation Theories, Team Dynamics, Organizational Culture, Communication Processes, Power and Influence, Conflict Management, Employee Engagement, Organizational Effectiveness. Learning Outcomes. Participants will be able to analyze workplace behavior, improve team performance, foster positive organizational cultures, resolve organizational conflicts. Course 6. Change Management. Course description. This course focuses on leading and managing organizational transformation in response to technological, competitive, regulatory, and market changes. Topics: Nature of organizational change, drivers of change management models, organizational transformation, resistance to change leadership, digital transformation, culture change communication, sustaining change. Learning outcomes. Participants will be able to lead organizational change initiatives, manage stakeholder resistance, design transformation strategies, build adaptive organizations. Course 7. Executive Decision-Making. Course description. This course develops advanced managerial decision-making capabilities through analytical thinking, judgment, risk assessment, and strategic problem-solving. Topics: Decision-making frameworks, critical thinking, behavioral economics, cognitive biases, decision analysis, risk and uncertainty, data-informed decision, strategic problem-solving, crisis decision-making, executive judgment. Learning outcomes. Participants will be able to make informed strategic decisions, evaluate risks and opportunities, recognize decision biases, apply analytical decision frameworks. Course 8. Ethics, Governance and Corporate Responsibility. Course description. This course explores ethical leadership, corporate governance systems, stakeholder management, sustainability, and responsible business practices. Topics: Business ethics, ethical decision-making, corporate governance frameworks, board responsibilities, stakeholder theory, corporate social responsibility (ESG), and sustainability, compliance and risk governance, ethical leadership, responsible capitalism. Learning outcomes. Participants will be able to apply ethical reasoning in business, evaluate governance structures, balance stakeholder interests, promote responsible leadership practices. Module-level learning outcomes. Upon successful completion of strategic management and global leadership, participants will be able to MLO1. Strategic analysis. Evaluate industry, market, and organizational environments using established strategic frameworks. MLO2. Strategy formulation. Develop business-level and corporate-level strategies that create sustainable competitive advantage. MLO3. Strategic execution. Translate strategic objectives into actionable initiatives and organizational performance improvements. MLO4. Leadership effectiveness. Demonstrate leadership competencies required to manage teams, organizations, and stakeholders in complex environments. MLO5. Organizational excellence. Apply organizational behavior principles to improve employee engagement, culture, and performance. MLO6. Change leadership. Lead organizational transformation initiatives and manage resistance to change. MLO7. Executive decision-making. Make informed decisions under conditions of uncertainty, complexity, and risk. MLO8. Global management. Led effectively across cultures, geographic regions, and international business environments. MLO9. Governance and ethics. Integrate ethical reasoning, governance principles, and corporate responsibility into managerial decision-making. MLO10. Stakeholder management. Build productive relationships with employees, customers, investors, regulators, communities, and strategic partners.